Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I am Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
Okay, so last week we ranked the 10 best logos in college football. Be sure to check that out on our channel if you haven't already. Now it's time to get to the 10 worst, so might get some hate comments here below, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Let us know if you disagree in the comments. Let's get right into it. Let's start with number 10, Trey.
Yeah, Florida International, the Panthers. The more I look at this logo, the logo itself is kind of scary. If you look right at it, it's a little terrifying, really. But I'm just not a huge fan of the one paw kind of reaching out and the other paw's kind of behind. And I'm really not a big fan of the color scheme as well. Just not my favorite logo.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like it too much either.
Yep.
I think it belongs on the list. Number 9 is Wake Forest. It's just, to me, it's just boring. I don't know if it's if there's actually a specific font that they're using, but it is identical to Times New Roman. Like, I compared them side by side, and my untrained eye could not tell the difference. So if your logo is just literally letters in Times New Roman, it doesn't get much more boring than that. So
Yeah.
that primary logo is not great.
Yeah, it's a worthy logo to have on the list. All right, we're moving on to number 8 here. My first one, I'm saying I'm going with the Duke Blue Devils, the Dukies. It's just kind of first off, just plain blue and white. I don't think it's the greatest color scheme.
As Ryan with a blue and white shirt on right now.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest color scheme, even though I can make it look good.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I don't love it. It's just it's kind of a weird D with little curls on the end, and then it seems like they have like a white thing in the middle. It almost looks like a diamond. It just, I don't know. It's just not that attractive. I can't really
See, I didn't mind this logo as much. Like, in theory, I'm thinking about the Duke logo, like, they got a fine logo, but then I feel like just part of the reverence of Duke probably plays into that for me. Like, if I ignore the brand, I just look at the actual logo itself. I think I see where you're coming from.
I think that's the case with a lot of the logos, like you kind of go to those lower tier schools, like, oh, that's a joke. But if it was like a school with a lot of cachet, like Alabama, it's like, oh, maybe it's a little different. But
The Duke one for basketball, that middle part of the D, they add like it looks like a net and the ball, and that makes it look better. But just the traditional.
and they used to have the devil, the actual blue devil,
Yeah.
like his face.
Oh yeah,
kind
a
of
lot
on
of
the side.
a lot of the secondary logos are amazing, but these are
Yeah.
the primary ones that aren't so great.
Yep.
All
All right, moving on. Speaking of primary, Baylor, the Baylor Bears. The color scheme to me stands out first. The green and yellow, or what, the goldish. Maybe it might be better if the colors were inverse. I don't know. Maybe not. But then just the boring BU, and I just wish they did something with bears instead of just the letters. The initials or letters, they carry more weight with the historic programs that we kind of look at, but because it's been their logo for generations, but not the case for Baylor.
It's kind of boring. I don't dislike it as much as maybe you guys, but it's boring.
It's boring, and then it has that green kind of background, right? It just, yeah, I'm with you. I don't really like that one. Anywho, let's move on to number 6 here. We got Northern Illinois, the Huskies. I think you guys probably had this one on your list. I didn't necessarily mind it all that much. I mean,
Okay,
it's not great,
this logo
but
sucks, Ryan. This
Wow.
logo sucks.
Michael, this is all you, because I wasn't a hater.
This one's
This
not
was
that
number
bad.
2. Number 2 on my list.
Let you take it then, Michael, because I don't know where to go here.
I don't like the look of the Husky all that much, but that's not the biggest problem. If it was just the Husky, I would be fine. Don't like the NIU text, and I really don't like that they put the word Huskies at the bottom there in really small font, especially when the logo is kind of smaller, like on a TV screen or something. You can hardly tell what it says. And why put it there? Like, you've got a Husky, you don't need to put
it's
all these
redundant.
words in your logo. Yeah, so I don't know. It's not attractive to me. It looks dated.
You look dated.
Wow.
Well, that's harsh. I am the youngest of the three of us, though, so I got that going
True.
for me.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 on our list was number 1 on my list, my least favorite logo in college football, Texas Tech.
Pretty bad.
I get that the the double T, as they call it, is their brand, and that's fine. But I do not like this version at all. It seems like they changed it in 2000. I feel like that kind of shows. It seems like they said, all right, we need to be modern and hip. And maybe this was modern and hip in 2000. They just added some 3D and some shadowing. To me, it just right now just looks bad. And if you look at the old one, I'll put the old one up on the screen before 2000. Maybe in 2000 it looked bad, but now the kind of retro simplicity of it, I think would be really cool. They should bring it back.
Yeah. Or just make something with the Red Raider more primary, but
yes.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got a blanket one here. Every Big Ten member with just a boring letter. I personally don't mind some of them, but the Big Ten is full of old, boring letters, and it makes sense as these are some of the oldest institutions in college football, so that makes sense why they're simple. But some of them are just a little dull. You got Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Purdue, Northwestern, Michigan, Rutgers are all just single-letter logos. Pretty amazing. And out of that crew, I would probably say Northwestern is my least favorite. I don't really like the N, the look of the N. Purdue's,
it's like really thin on the side.
I don't quite understand it.
I'm like looking for a hidden meaning within that. Like,
Yeah,
is it spelling something else? Is there a number in there that I'm not seeing?
I'm like
Maybe
looking
there
at
is,
it from
but-
all angles.
Yeah.
And, like Purdue's.
My
at
wife
least
said it looked like a sideways Z, which is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it, like Purdue's is at least a little italicized and in motion. But it's crazy how many letters there are. Because even Ohio State, Maryland, Indiana, they have the letters as the kind of the focal point, but they just added some extra flair. But very odd.
It's like Nebraska. They used to have the Huskers kind of across the N,
Yeah.
But they got rid of that. Anywho, that was me. I just do not like the boringness. Come on, give me something here. Just don't give me a letter. I mean, anybody can make a letter. All right, moving on here. Number 3, we got South Alabama, the Jaguars. This one is just, it's just the head of the Jaguar, and it's kind of just got a weird shape to it, and the teeth look kind of funky if you kind of look inside the mouth, and like his teeth is like, it just doesn't look like he's got a full set of teeth there. I don't know. I don't like the color scheme. I mean, it's red, white.
Oh,
and blue,
I'm sorry. You don't like America, Ryan?
I know. I know.
Ryan, rough go on the episode
I
with
know.
colors.
Sorry, just not
That's
my
fine.
favorite.
No, you don't have to like red, white, and blue. I don't particularly like the color scheme.
For a football program, for uniforms, I just don't think it looks good. Like Louisiana Tech, I don't think that looks good either. That the same kind of color scheme. Not my favorite. It's just not that great.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 2 on our list, it is Eastern Michigan, and I think your guys' votes carried the weight here because I don't dislike it as much as you guys because it kind of feels like they're just being upfront with like, yeah, we're not making an interesting logo. This is boring. It's just a simple E. We didn't try, but it's just that's what it is. Like, take it or leave it, and I guess you guys left it.
I mean,
Try harder, man.
At least the E works for the Eagles too, but I just want them to incorporate something with the Eagles. The E just seems a little too dry.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
And
It's bad.
the green. But all right, that leads us to number 1, Louisiana Monroe. So at first glance, before really digging into this logo, the L, it kind of looks like the car's engine coolant symbol to me, like when I first look at it. And then it kind of looks like a tall, narrow flag. It's just really hard for me to make out the Warhawk. And the bottom of the L makes it hard for me to even see it. Like maybe it's just my eyes and it's one of those images that only certain people can see. I don't like it. Then the colors aren't the best in my opinion. Not a fan.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the school's logo rather than like a sports team's logo to me. And their secondary logo, just the hawk, is, I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's a lot better than
Yeah,
the ULM.
I like that one better.
All right. Well, I mean, we weren't really brave there putting ULM as the worst logo.
I know.
I'm not sure how many ULM fans are going to be watching this.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, what's like the worst Power 5? I mean, we put Texas Tech up there. We had Baylor and Duke. Not exactly cream of the crops.
In football, no.
In football,
Wake Forest. Wake Forest. Yeah, we're a bunch of wusses here. We weren't picking on.
Well, we
the
did
big
the whole
schools.
Big Ten, but
True.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about some honorable mentions here? Maybe we'll have some big schools in there as we look at recap the top 10.
So some honorable mentions for me, and this is a big one. I like letters to be symmetrical. Notre Dame's has always bothered me. The bottom right portion of the N doesn't make sense to me. Like, why isn't it the same as the top left portion? It just, that has always irked me for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Same with the
And also the
W.
D. The D is very wide. I mean, that is you're really stretching. You're stretching that D.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did, Michael. Good point. Good point. Wow. Yeah. So I'm not even going to follow that because I did. But I guess another letter is Washington's. The W. Like the left side of the W is thicker than the right side W. It's not the same width on both sides, but. They just need to stretch it out, I guess.
I like Washington's logo. That didn't bother me as much, but I see what you're saying there.
But Notre Dame was my more.
Okay. My honorable mentions were Toledo, not because the logo is necessarily awful, but I just feel like that with the name Rockets, the potential there to be a really cool logo is huge, and they fell short, kind of a boring logo. And then Kansas, which, Trey, I know that was your honorable mention for the good side.
I like
Which
them,
I get it, because it's unique, it's different. But I don't know. To me, it just seems, it doesn't seem retro. It kind of just seems old. So
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't like Kansas either. Even though I do I appreciate the differentiation other than just like a K, but yeah, it didn't pan out. My two, Vanderbilt was my first one. The Commodores. It's just ugly. It's just like a V in the middle of a star, which, you know, I know the star has some meaning to the kind of their program and the Commodore program, but it just doesn't look good the way their logo is produced. So definitely a low one. And then another directional Michigan school, Central Michigan. And I honestly thought about Western Michigan too. Those directional Michigan schools just do not have attractive logos. Central has just got a C, and it's kind of like italicized, and it's got some weird kind of three like stripes kind of going in the sideway. It just doesn't.
It's moving.
Make sense.
Yeah, I know. Chips.
I know. I don't know. Chippewas. They could be much cooler. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
All right, there you have it. That'll do it for this episode of the College Football Bros. If you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe. Click that red button below the screen. Be sure to give this a thumbs up. And again, let us know in the comments your least favorite logo. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back in a couple days with the top 5 transfer quarterbacks heading into 2021. So be sure you're subscribed for that. See you next time.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.